Jeff Gold, and well, let's talk about that little exchange there. Again, and you point out, regardless of what side, Alyce LaViolette, she's holding her own in these kind of exchanges, is she not, Jeff?
She is holding her own. I do think that at times, the clips that you've played this morning where she's chiding the prosecutor were a bit much for her. I think that she's amateurish as an expert witness. I think she's probably very good as a speaker, and I think she is holding her own. And I think that the jury will probably see her as a, a sort of kind, Aunt Alice. But I think she goes too far occasionally in chiding the prosecutor. It's just disrespectful to him, and I don't think it sells well.
Got it. As you've been in cases and have dealt with experts, do you think to yourself, I don't like the demeanor here. I don't think, and I mean, are there points in a case where you're thinking as an attorney, I'm not liking the way this is going. I'm not liking the way this person's coming off?
Sure. I think that Jennifer Wilmot probably cringed when she told the prosecutor he probably needs a timeout.
Right.
Go in the corner and wear the dunce cap. I don't think that's, appropriate. Overall, the big point is that an expert shouldn't be 100% on one side or another, unless it's an obvious subject like DNA. You can be 100%. But in psychology, to say, I didn't really seriously think about the fact she lied to everybody after the fact, and I spoke to her after the fact. Maybe she lied to me, and I gave it serious consideration. She just poo-poos everything.
Yep.
That I don't like.
Not giving the prosecutor anything. We're back with more in a moment. All right, time for another sidebar. So let's bring in our expert, defense attorney Jeff Gold. Jeff, it seems Juan Martinez has blown open a gaping hole in Alyce LaViolette's testimony, getting her to admit Travis was afraid of Jodi's stalking behavior, then used her own chart to say stalking is at the extreme end of aggression and abuse. Take it from there.
Well, first of all, when we saw that chart in direct, everybody suspected it's coming back in cross, and sure enough, it's Juan's big finale. What's a terrorist? A murderer with a manifesto, Mike. So here you go. He's trying to say that Jodi is the top level of that continuum of domestic violence. And a terrorist is certainly somebody that would end up killing you. So he's making huge points here now. They're substantive points. Of course, I'm in the studio today, not in the courtroom right this minute, but I am sure that that jury is paying attention, because every time the prosecutor or the defense gets to the substance, not talking about generalities of science, but something that really matters as to whether or not Jodi Arias is guilty or innocent, they sit up on the edge of their seats and pay attention, and I can guarantee you they're doing it for this testimony. This is a crescendoing finale that is really making his case. Now, the interesting thing is, he probably couldn't have got this in by himself in the state's case, but he was able to do it through cross-examination. And really, Juan has done a pretty good job, technically speaking, of how he's got it to this point. He still has to be careful of it, but he's scoring very big.
And you use the word crescendo. And it built like as such. Travis is afraid of her stalking behavior on the continuum, and even she moves to Mesa. She shows up at the house uninvited, and then he says he's with another woman. He's done with the relationship while she's peering through the window. Incredible stuff. Jeff's going to be watching, so am I, so are you. We'll take a break and have more in a moment. Stay with us.